Live from Oxford, Ohio. We start the baseball season here for the Miami RedHawks on Red Hawk Radio. Hello, folks at home, and welcome to a new baseball season back at McKie Field here at Hayden Park. It's been a long road to get to this season. This team has actually played 8 games to this point. They are 1-7 in those games. They had a tough series at Georgia Tech and then at North Alabama, where they had a lot of games that were kind of mixed up. They moved fields a bunch of times, so this team has been up against it. But after getting their first win of the 2023 campaign at UC on Wednesday, they are ready to go and get things rolling here at home for this home crowd. On the mound for today's game for the RedHawks is the newcomer, number 17 pitcher Connor Oliver. He's a left-handed guy, transferred from TCU, 6'2", 170. Got a great fastball and some really good stuff to go with it, pinpoint accuracy. He doesn't have the ERA to start the season that you would expect, 6.48, but with such a small sample size, it's hard to really judge how good a pitcher is with that record. He's 0-1 on the season, but he turned in a great start against North Alabama, striking out 11 in 5.1 innings. Only giving up 2 hits and 1 run. That run was earned, but Connor Oliver looking to get his home streak started here against the Siena team that has struggled themselves. A team coming into this one 0-9 on the season, and a lot of the games have not really been very competitive. Siena's a team that does not play a home game until right around mid-April, so they have been road warriors, obviously out of New York. Not always the most conducive to baseball weather early in the spring, so they're going to look to try to steal a game here from the RedHawks, and we are just about set, starting it off for the Saints. Number 12, Sean Camacho, center fielder, coming into this one. He leads the team in average, 273, only slugging 318. The freshman, not a big guy in stature, but certainly looks like he can put the bat on ball, and just like that, Connor Oliver starts the RedHawks off with a strike on the outside corner. Oliver kicks, deals, swing by Camacho. It's a foul ball, so just like that, 0-2. Just about as good of a start as you could have drawn up if you're Connor Oliver after going fastball and then what looked to be somewhat of an off-speed. You can really go anywhere with this third pitch. He goes high with a fastball. He'll miss there. Camacho thought about the swing, but was able to hold up. Oliver comes set, quick motion. Looks like it was low and out for the second pitch. We're even at 2s. Beautiful day here in Oxford, Ohio. Right around 50 degrees. Might tilt towards 60 by the end of this one. And that one's driven in the gap by Camacho. That's going to fall. First batter, first hit for the Saints. So, and then a booted throw, and Camacho's running to second, and he's going to get there. So certainly not what the doctor ordered if you're Miami. Christian Tejada playing right. Just kind of threw that one in and bounced in front of the shortstop Cooper Weiss, and just like that, the Saints have action. The fielding has certainly been one point of emphasis for the RedHawks to start this year. A lot of sloppy plays that have led to big innings. And just like that, we turn the lineup over to number 6, Donovan Montgomery, left fielder. Squares around a bunt, low and inside to the right-hander. And if you're Connor Oliver here, this is one of those times where you really got to dial in mentally. Cannot buy into the air that you just saw in the field. You got to find a way to get an out. Not squaring this time, swings right through the strike. So we're even at 1-1. Donovan Montgomery comes in this game just batting at a 158 clip, but with such a small sample size, you got to give him some time to get those points up. He fouls one back out of the stadium, and just like that, he's 1-2. Connor Oliver really working towards pace of play. That's kind of been the emphasis this year around baseball, and he's been quick working on the mound thus far. The 1-2 pitch drilled into the right center gap. Tejada looks like he's under it. Going to catch, but there's going to be a tag, and Camacho will move up to third. So with one out, the Saints are in the driver's seat, man on third already, and they're looking to drive him in.
The second baseman, Hayden Stewart.
Now up to bat for the Saints, second baseman Hayden Stewart coming into this one. Not his best campaign thus far, just batting at a 130 clip. Obviously, it's still very early, but the left-hander is going to have his work cut out for him against Oliver. First pitch looked to be a fastball up high. That'll miss. It'll be 1-0. And for a Saints team that has not scored that many points this season, this first run seems monumental to start off this series. Looked to be somewhat of a cutter on the outside corner, but it'll catch it for a strike. We're even at 1. Connor Oliver comes set. Like we said, working quick here today. Kicks, deals, and just missed that one. He certainly wanted that call. Looked like a fastball in the low and outside corner. And judging by the body language of David Novak behind the plate, he certainly thought it was in there for a strike. But 2-1's our count. Here's the pitch. High fastball cut on and missed by Stewart. And we're even at 2. One out here in the top of the first inning. Connor Oliver looking to dodge a major bullet and get 2 outs on the board. 2-2 pitch, kicks, deals. Strike 3, swings right through it. Stewart went fishing on the outside corner, and Connor Oliver left on left says test him with fastballs, and that's exactly what he did. Gets the much-needed strikeout, and just like that, 2 outs in the inning, and that runner at third becomes that much less scary. Now up to the plate, Vincent DeNicola. Strike on the inside corner, number 24 for the Saints. He's the DH. Coming into this one, third best hitter in terms of average. He's batting .250 on the season. Pounds one into the ground down the left side, but it'll be well foul. So just like that, 2 pitches, 2 strikes. And if you're a RedHawks fan at home, you really got to like what Connor Oliver's giving you on the mound. Making sure that he's in the zone early, working quick, and not wasting any time, challenging guys with fastballs, kind of buying into that old mindset. Test them with fastballs first time around. Once you get to second and third, that's when you really start mixing it up. But he's trusting his fastball here, and it's working well as there's strike 3 right down the middle. DeNicola, dead to rights, couldn't do anything about it. How about Connor Oliver coming out at home, getting the RedHawks a little energy? We'll be back with bottom of the first in just a second. Stay with us here on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio, just about set for the bottom of the first after stranding a runner at third for Connor Oliver. It certainly seems like the RedHawks are trying to build on that momentum. Starting on the mound for the visiting Saints, Arlo Marinchak coming into this one. Not had the best season, 0-1 with a 6.75 ERA. The big righty listed at 6'8", 254, and he winds up for his first pitch against Benji Brokmond. And see, Brokmond kind of checked the swing there, but he got a piece of it, so it'll be 0-1 to start the count here for Benji. Brokmond in an unusual spot in this first game of the doubleheader, being the DH, usually a defensive stalwart with the speed he has in center field, but just going to hit today for the RedHawks. That fastball's on the inside corner. It's 0-2, so Brokmond will go into protection mode, just trying to make something happen, and with his speed, anything in the field is definitely what he's looking for. Winds up, fouls it off. Great two-strike approach. Just kind of a half swing. Just needed to get the bat on it on that high fastball from Marinchak. It's kind of a weird arm slot that he's got on the mound. If you look at it, kind of a 3/4, halfway towards sidearm, and certainly could be testing for the righties today. Here's the pitch. It's high. It'll be 1-2 for Brokmond. Benji's a guy that was one of the top hitters, not only on this team, but in the MAC last year in terms of average. Certainly a great average hitter. But with that one, swings and misses right through it. So that'll start off Marinchak's day with a strikeout of Brokmond. He gives the scouting report to number 19, Zach McDonald. McDonald playing center field. He's had a good season to this point. Most of you might remember that kind of Sports Center top 10 robbery catch he had at Georgia Tech just a few weeks ago. First pitch to McDonald misses high, and Z-Mac, as he's known in the program, certainly has a lot of pop. So this is a guy that if you're Marinchak, you do not want to miss waist high, because he has driven a lot of balls out of this yard. High pitch, checks his swing. He didn't go, so it's 2-0. And Zach McDonald finds himself in the driver's seat. Marinchak. And McDonald jumps on one, but it looks like it's right at the left fielder, but he has some trouble with it. It was kind of a weird situation, just frozen rope line drive to the left fielder, and it was so high, I think it actually got in it kind of mixed with the sun of the field. So that one looks like it'll be scored a double just because it was hit so hard. So just like that, with one out, the RedHawks got something cooking with Rylan Zaborowski coming off the big 2-home-run game at UC, and he has had a lot of big flies this year, 5 already in this early campaign. First pitch well outside. Zaborowski will easily take a look at that one. Zaborowski comes into this one batting .382. Like we said, 5 home runs, slugging .941. Cuts on one there. Was not able to connect, but certainly a dangerous hitter. And we mentioned Marinchak 6'8" on the mound. Zaborowski 6'7" in the box. So some big fellas going head-to-head right here. McDonald leads off second. Marinchak up and in, and that one's going to go all the way to the backstop. So Z-Mac will take third base easily there, and matching suit from the Siena Saints in the top of the first. The RedHawks have a runner on third with one out. Got something cooking here. Zaborowski from Gilbert, Arizona. That pitch low. He easily looks at that one. It's 3-1 the count. Obviously, Zaborowski, a transfer coming into this season from a nice JUCO out west, and he has had a great campaign. Looks at ball 4 low there, and he'll take first base. So first and third for the RedHawks, seeing what they can't draw up here with one out. Number 10 coming to the plate, that's Parker Lester. He gets the start at first today. We've seen him kind of move around all throughout the lineup. Got catching abilities, can be a DH some days, plays first as well. Really not much that Lester cannot do. Lester cuts on the first one, looked like an outside fastball, and count will move to 0-1. Zaborowski leads off first, McDonald off third. Marinchak comes set, deals, misses high, and that's where the majority of his misses have been today. We've seen a couple balls go to the backstop, whether it was the first kind of warm-up pitch that he had between the inning or in the game earlier, and he has missed high with a lot of his pitches today. Marinchak comes set, kicks, deals, pitches low to Lester, and just like that, the count is 2-1 in favor of the hitter. Zaborowski heads for second. McDonald coming home after Lester swung at that pitch, and Zaborowski will be out, but McDonald scores the run. So almost a little league type play. You send the runner at first, and the third base runner just kind of waits until you fire it down, and then he takes off for home. And the Saints were not able to get the ball back quick enough to get out McDonald. So just like that, Miami will take a 1-0 lead early in this game. 2-2 pitch inside, called strike three. Lester didn't like it, but that'll end the inning for the Saints. But the RedHawks able to take the early lead after getting one hit and one run in the first inning. We'll be back with the top of the second here in just a second. Stay with us on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio for the top of the second. Miami clinging to a 1-0 lead after the first inning, back on the bump. Connor Oliver, we talked about him earlier, lefty, and some of you may have seen if you were following Miami baseball Twitter, but obviously each year they release the MLB draft top 200 prospects for the college ranks, and he was an honorable mention as we see the first pitch skied into left. Coming in for it will be Zapp. He's able to make the catch, calls off Cooper Weiss, and that was before we could even introduce him. Matt Livingston, the first baseman, skied that one into left, so it'll be an easy one pitch, one out to start this second inning for Oliver. But getting back to our point, Oliver was an honorable mention on that top 200. The second starter we'll see in the second game of this doubleheader today, Tyler Chadwick, was in that top 200, so couple great arms for the RedHawks, just looking to get them going, and following suit with Livingston on the first pitch we see swinging from the catcher Willie Schwarrick. He grounds it to third, and Ryland Zaborowski able to throw him out. So 2 pitches, 2 outs for Connor Oliver, just the definition of efficiency. And no surprise, we see number 22, Danny Barbeo, have the take sign on. You never want to get a 3-pitch inning, so no surprise that he was taken there. And he takes strike one, but the second pitch is a ball, so we're even at 1-1. Barbero swings on the third pitch, grounded up the middle. Weiss running play, Very, very close, but they'll say they got him. Lester with the stretch, and it was much needed there. So one of the most efficient innings you'll see, only 5 pitches for Connor Oliver, and he's finding himself back in the dugout. We'll be back with bottom of the second here on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio, just about set for the bottom of the second. Arlo Marinchak still on the mound out of Del Mar, New York. Like we said, the big righty listed at 6'8" in this one. Starting off in the box for the Red Hawks, number 12, Cooper Weiss. And one of the themes we haven't hit on yet, but we'll talk about throughout the game, is this is a team of newcomers for Miami. A lot of transfers. Cooper Weiss, one of them, from Coastal Carolina. I think he's kind of cemented himself as kind of the top shortstop on this team. But with that being said, as he takes ball one inside, there's a lot of depth on this team as well. A lot of guys that are kind of maybe not in the lineup right now, but you could definitely see them getting put in the lineup going forward. Weiss takes a strike. Looked like on the inside corner on that one. Count is 1-1 to start the bottom of the second inning. Weiss, a hefty hack there, really got his money's worth, unable to connect, but certainly looked like he was hunting a fastball up at the top of the zone. Weiss was one of those guys that had one of the 3 bombs. Rylan Zaborowski obviously had the other 2, at UC. Weiss, a little lazy ground ball to third, and he hustles it out, and he gets rewarded for it. The throw was well wide at first. Livingston had to come off the bag just to corral the throw. So Weiss showing you that hustle wins right there. Gets the air, and he's on first to start off this inning. Now at the bat, Brian Zapp hitting 368, in this game. The third best hitter in terms of average on this team. He takes ball one high. Zapp, a seasoned veteran for this squad out of Waterloo, Ontario. Listed at 6'1", 195. Takes up and out for the second ball, and Marinchak has kind of been all around the zone. He's gotten outs when he's needed them, but certainly has not been the most pinpoint accuracy that you'll see in the college baseball ranks thus far. Weiss gives 3 steps like he was stealing there, was actually bluffing though, and they'll call a strike on the inside corner against Zapp. So it's 2-1. Nobody out, man on first, that man being Cooper Weiss for the RedHawks. Marinchak comes set, kicks, deals inside, and that one just missed. Looked like a very similar spot to the last pitch, but unable to get the call against Zapp. So the count will move to 3-1, and he's really in the driver's seat here. Would expect to see a cut on a fastball that's anywhere hittable. That Ball was not hittable, although it was well outside. So Zapp will take his walk. Runners on first and second to start this second inning for Marinchak. And already they're going to burn a mound visit as we see the pitching coach head out towards the mound to talk it over with his pitcher. Arlo Marinchak, a fifth year on this team, so you have to imagine he's been around the block quite a few times. There's nothing that he hasn't seen, but still, nonetheless, you don't want this game to get out of hand early, especially in a long game with a doubleheader. You always have to wonder if a bad performance in the first game is going to carry over to the second. And that's kind of what I think that Siena is trying to avoid here. You see catcher Willie Shorrick come out and give some signs for this first and second opportunity for the RedHawks. Christian Tejada in the box. And that one was a fastball that looked well wide but was called a strike. Tejada is going to have to go back to the drawing board on this second pitch. That one looked down and out, so it'll get even at 1-1. RedHawks looking to follow up their first run in the first inning with a couple more here. They've got something working with both Weiss and Zapp on the base paths, and Tejada up at the bat with no outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Tejada in a 1-2 count after fouling that last pitch off. Marinchak comes set, and we see both runners in motion, and Tejada with 2 strikes, just kind of fighting that pitch off, fouled it down the right side. And it looked like both runners had a great jump, so it could have been a stolen base, but obviously it's hard to make that call when you're in the box and just kind of fighting for your life with 2 strikes. You have to err on the side of caution and foul anything off at any cost. Marinchak comes set. Fouled off once again. Tejada battling in the box. That one was in on his hands and just barely got a piece of it, but he's able to stay alive, staying with the count at 1-2. Tejada, the 7-hole hitter, followed up by David Novak, the catcher. Tejada fouls another one off, and he has been battling. You see Luke Ross delivers the balls to the home plate umpire, doing a fabulous job in this at-bat. He's going to need a few more pearls if this keeps going the way it is. That one grounded up the middle, right to the second baseman. 4, 6, and 3 for the double play. Not what you were looking for if you're Miami, but you can find some solace in the fact that the runner got to third, but with 2 outs, David Novak is going to have to get a hit. Novak steps into the box, a guy that had a lot of pop last year, kind of one of the top home run hitters in the MAC. And he's looking to continue that campaign into the 2023 season. Obviously, this is a guy that kind of didn't really have a spot in the lineup last year, but worked his way in and just ran with his opportunity, whether it was behind the plate or in a DH role. And he's looking to continue that here in this 2023 year. Takes a strike there. It's 1-1 our count with a man on third. That'd be Cooper Weiss with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Novak swings at one there, fading towards the right side. Right fielder might have a play, runs hard into the wall and flips over it. Hope that he's all right. I don't think he was able to make that catch. A scary sight there. Just that wall here at Hayden Park, just it gets ever so close as you go down the line to the playing field, and that one really ran up on the right fielder out there. That's Gavin Thornburn. Thorburn up and walking, which is a good sign, but still a scary sight. Was not aware that that fence was there, was just trying to make a play, went full speed and flipped over the fence. Good to see him walking, but still one of those plays in baseball that it's just it's a tough thing because you can try to say whatever you want to them, fence, 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 but sometimes they're just so locked in they're not able to hear you or recognize that the fence is there. But luckily, Thorburn able to walk out to his position, and he looks like he's staying in the game. So hopefully one of those ones where you just kind of takes your breath away, but you're able to get back out there, and that looks like what he's doing here. So after that quick injury timeout, play will resume with David Novak in a 1-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Miami leading 1-0. Here's the pitch, well inside, and that one gets a piece of Novak, so almost a bailout hit by pitch there, and Novak will gladly take that in that tough 1-2 count. So he'll jog down to first, and there's runners at the corners yet again for the RedHawks with 2 outs. Now up to bat, number 21, Dylan Baker, the second baseman. Coming into this one, Baker batting just under 200 at 182. This year out of Tampa, Florida, redshirt sophomore. That ball looked a little low, but called a strike, so Baker will have to keep that in the back of his mind going forward in this at-bat. Got to protect that bottom edge of the zone. 1-0 our count, or 0-1, excuse me. Baker sends that one in the air, kind of a top-spun ball, just past the brown turf out there, and it's caught by the shortstop. So that'll end the inning. RedHawks threaten, but aren't able to get one across. Our score still 1-0 here against Siena. We'll be back with third inning action here on Red Hawk Radio. After this, stay with us. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio, entering the third inning. Connor Oliver's kind of been on cruise control after that first hit and error in that first inning. He had a 5-pitch inning in the second, and he's looking to continue that dominance here in the third. And you always hear that kind of thought that you make a play in the field and somehow you always are back at the bat right after, and that's kind of how it works out here. Gavin Thorburn was not able to make a play, but a great effort on the side there, kind of flipped over the wall, able to stay in the game. Big credit to the Miami training staff checking him out, making sure he was all right, and he was able to get back in the game right away. And here he is at the bat. First pitch well high from Oliver. So Connor Oliver, like we mentioned, the TCU transfer. Been on a lot of draft boards for this year. Thorburn squares the bunt, and that pitch was high as well. So Oliver trying to get back in the strike zone, but seems like he's had really good command of his pitches, especially his fastball earlier in this one. That one just misses high. He's been well high with the other two, but that third one just barely out of the strike zone. So it's a 3-0 count to Thorburn, and he's looking to make something happen. Thorburn thought that was ball 4. Looked to be pretty much right down the middle. Might have been letters high, but nonetheless, pretty clear strike. And Oliver will move to a 3-1 count. Gets a foul tip there from Thorburn, and just like that, it's 3-2. And Oliver can make something happen and get the momentum back on his side. Kick, steals, working quick once again, and that one just fades a little bit high and out. So Oliver works it all the way back from 3-0 to a full count, but unable to finish the job. And there'll be a runner on first to start this inning for the Saints. Number 11, Randall Hine, the shortstop, now at the bat in the 9-hole for Siena. First pitch will be a called strike. Oliver comes set. Takes a look at first. Second look, kick, steals. Fastball looked like on the inner half, but pretty easily a strike there. Going against Hine. 0-2 count. No outs. Man on first here in the top of the third for Oliver. Pick off to first. Not really close, but got to mix up those looks for the runners. Obviously, this is a Siena team that's not very big, so you'd expect a little bit of speed on the base paths, and they could potentially start sending runners at any point now. That third pitch misses high. It's 1-2 our count. Hine gets his sign. Connor Oliver's ready to go. Ball just missed a little bit high and out, but not a bad miss at all for Connor Oliver. Misses with one more, and we're back to full here for Connor Oliver going against Hine. Kick, steals, runner in motion, pitch misses inside. So the steal didn't matter. Hine takes a walk, and just like that, Connor Oliver has his back against the wall here with 2 runners on and no outs here in this top of the third inning.
The center fielder, Sean Camacho.
Sean Camacho, the leadoff hitter, and here's a pickoff play to second base, and might have had a play. It almost looked like the throw was just about perfect, but a lot of moving parts, was not able to connect on that. Almost caught Thorburn looking out there. Camacho tries to stab at a bunt there and unable to get it down. Obviously, this is a situation that screams bunt. You're down 1 early in this game, 2 runners on, nobody out. Just looking to move them over and get 2 guys in scoring position. Oliver, the pitch, nice little breaking ball, falls in there for strike 2, and just like that, Camacho, any thought of possibly laying down a bunt is pretty much gone with the wayside after missing that first one and seeing a breaking ball fall in there for strike 2. Oliver misses with the third pitch just outside off the glove of David Novak. Runners do not advance, so able to kind of corral that pitch. Obviously, with a guy like Oliver, his stuff moves as much as it does. It's always a question of whether you're going to be able to corral the pitches or not. And on the fourth pitch of the at-bat, Oliver gets an easy fan there. Outside fastball, and Camacho goes down swinging, similar to his first at-bat. Now we see Donovan Montgomery coming up. Same situation, but with one out. Looking to make something happen for the Saints. Oliver starts him off with a first pitch strike, caught the outside corner, and this is back to the Oliver we saw earlier. Just filling up the zone, bunch of strikes, and not really looking back at all. Kick steals, fouled off, straight back into the screen by Montgomery, and Oliver finds himself in another 0-2 count, looking to put 2 outs on the board here in this top of the third. And that pitch might have been low, but it's a called strike 3. Montgomery can't believe it, but Connor Oliver filling up the zone, gets the benefit of the doubt, and just like that, we got 2 outs here in this top of the third. Now up to bat, Hayden Stewart, the second baseman. Takes a ball low to start off the at-bat. And an inning that looked incredibly promising for Siena, with runners on first and second and no outs. After 2 strikeouts is looking bleak. Hayden Stewart cuts on strike 1, or even at ones in the count. And this is a tough matchup, and I think that Coach Hayden, obviously Coach Ope and Coach Hayden factored this in for starting Oliver first, but a lot of the guys at the top of this lineup that are some of the better hitters on the Siena squad are lefties, and with a guy like Connor Oliver, you just have so much movement on the ball, and that lefty-lefty matchup has just been brutal for these hitters. 1-2 pitch misses low. It's now 2-2. But Connor Oliver has been working with great pace, has really not missed a beat today. Had those early 2 walks in this inning, but bounced right back with a pair of strikeouts, and he's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. Misses low on that pitch, though. It's now 3-2. Runners will be in motion with 2 outs, so this is kind of a danger zone. If you're Connor Oliver with the runners in motion, a hit is most likely going to score 2 with them getting a head start. And that one dumped into left field. Is he going to be able to make a play? He can't. That one gets past Zap, and like we said, the runners are moving. Siena is going to take an early lead here in this third. Valiant effort by Zap, just trying to make a play, and that's really all he could do. You're not going to want to let that one just drop in front of you, but unfortunate to say the least, and Zap unable to get his glove under that one, and like we mentioned earlier, after a great start to this game from Connor Oliver, he finds himself trailing 2-1 after that hit by Hayden Stewart, driving in 2 and taking the lead here in this third inning. And right on cue, we'll see Coach Ope go out to talk things over with Connor Oliver. So now that the mound visit is complete, we see number 24 for Siena up at the bat. That'd be Vincent DeNicola. He had a strikeout earlier in this game, and he starts off with strike 1 there. The DH for this squad, a big fella coming into this one. 0-1 the count. Skies one into the air. High fly ball. Running in is Zach McDonald, and he's able to corral that one, but not an easy fly ball, but an end to the inning nonetheless. 2-1 our score, though. Siena puts 2 on the board, and the RedHawks find themselves trailing. We'll be back here on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. After a eventful top of the third, Redhawks look to take the lead back or at least tie it up here in the bottom of the third after giving up 2 runs on a single force or on a double, from Siena. We saw a diving effort from Brian Zapp, but was unable to kind of stop that fly ball, and just like that, Miami finds themselves trailing once again. Brokemon swings on the first pitch, unable to make contact, so it'll be 0-1 here in this bottom of the third. Lineup turns over, second time through for the RedHawks, and he swings on strike 2 and just has not had the contact swing working just yet. It fouled off a few pitches in that first at bat, but been much more swing and miss than I think Brokemon is looking for, and he finds himself at 0-2 again. And able to dump that one into right field. Great piece of 2-strike hitting there by Benji Brokemond. And folks at home, if you're looking for someone to model your approach on 2 strikes after, Benji Brokemond is just about as good as they come. Looks exactly what he's got. Gets an outside pitch. Sees that the second baseman is playing up the middle and is able to just dump it in right past to the left of his glove into right field for an easy base hit. And with his speed, this is trouble for Siena on the bases. Now we see Zach McDonald up at the bat, takes ball 1 high and out. Zach McDonald, obviously one of the very talented hitters on this squad, looking to really get his 2023 campaign going. Already batting 313, but certainly feels like he has not quite had the results that he's looking for. 7 RBIs on the year, which is obviously a really good number to be only 8 games into the season, but certainly feels like the production could still get ramped up for McDonald, especially in the home run numbers. Only 1 home run on the year, and he's got a lot of power in that bat. See a pickoff move over to first. Definitely thinking about Brokemond as they should. Guy with a lot of speed and is at risk to go on a steal at any time. He takes off here, throws good, and they're going to say they got him. So Brokemond tries to steal second, but a great throw from the catcher for Siena. That'd be Willie Schwarek, and puts a dart on the base, and just like that, the runner that the RedHawks have has been erased, and it's 1 out with nobody on for Zach McDonald. Z-Mac in a 3-0 count here. Instant take sign on. That ball was still a little bit out, but called a strike on the fastball. So 3-1 being the count, you'd assume that Zach McDonald has about the greenest light in the world especially if he gets a hittable fastball with his power. And takes a hefty hack there. And you always hear coaches say 3-1, nobody on the base paths. Get your A swing off, and that's exactly what he did. Unable to connect, but now finds himself in a good position. 3-2 count. Fouls it off on an inside fastball, and he's staying alive here in the box. And that's one thing that although the record does not reflect it, the hitting has not been the issue for the RedHawks this year. They've given up a lot of runs on the mound and in the field, but the hitting has been phenomenal thus far for the RedHawks as we see a skied fly ball in the left center field. Center fielder tracking this one down. He's able to make the catch. So Zach McDonald, after a good fight at the bat, unable to get himself on base, but a great at bat nonetheless. And that just goes to show what this team is capable of. They've had great at bats across the board, it feels like, for just about everyone top to bottom in this lineup, even guys that are on the bench. It's just they have not been able to keep the runs off the board for their opponents thus far. Here's Rylan Zaborowski at the bat, takes strike one on the outside corner. Obviously, this is one of the big hitters, not only on this team, but in the MAC conference. And realistically, if he has a campaign living up to what he's expecting, he could be one of the top hitters in the country come May or early June, just with how well he has been able to perform to this point. And he's looking to continue that success here in this doubleheader today against Siena. Zaborowski cuts through the fastball, and a quick end to the third inning there after throwing out the runner for Marinchak, and RedHawks go down quietly in the third, still trailing 2-1. We'll be back with fourth inning action here on RedHawk Radio. Stay with us.
Leading off the top of the fourth for Siena, number 44, the first baseman, Matt Livingston.
And we're back here on RedHawk Radio, just about set for fourth inning action. Connor Oliver still on the mound for the RedHawks. 2-1 our score, Siena on top. We see Matt Livingston, the first baseman, into the box. He was part of that 5-pitch inning where he flew out on the first pitch. Unable to swing at the first one there as it was well high, and he's in a 1-0 count. Livingston, the first baseman for today's game, coming into this one, has not had quite the success at the bat that he's looking for, hitting under the 100 mark at .083, or excuse me, .083. Had some issue with the on-deck batter being a little too close to the plate, so they got that squared away, and now we're at a 2-1 count here on Livingston. Oliver kicks, steals, finds the outside corner, 2-2. 2-2, excuse me, our count here. Looking to put Livingston away. Another one of those lefty hitters for the Siena squad. Skied on that pitch into foul territory. Zaborowski shields his eyes from the sun and able to make a nice play in foul territory. And at this time of day, right under 1 o'clock, this is a really tough play because you're looking directly into the sun, exactly where the fly ball is, but able to corral it there and gets an easy out number 1 for Oliver. Here's the catcher, Willie Schwarrick, for the Saints, and misses high on the first pitch, does Oliver, but he comes back with a strike that Schwarrick swings at. That was a breaking ball at the bottom of the zone, and it certainly had Schwarrick had him fooled at the bat. And the count moves to 1-1, but right after, Oliver bounces a pitch, and it's now 2-1 to Schwarrick. Schwarrick made that nice play last inning, throwing out Benji Brokmond on the steal attempt, and really erased what any momentum that the RedHawks really had in that inning. Obviously, that was only one out, but it just felt like that kind of sucked the life out of the building here at Hayden Park. Schwarrick fouls one straight back into the screen, and it's still 2-2. Oliver gets the sign. And a strike three swinging on the outside corner. Schwarrick goes down with the forwards K there. And just what the doctor ordered for Connor Oliver after a inning where you give up a couple runs and you felt like you should have gotten out of it. It's good to start off with a nice tempo here, get a easy first out and then a strikeout to really boost the momentum going forward into this start. Misses high with the first pitch there. Kick steals, fouled back. That one looks like it might stay in the park, but a strike nonetheless. So it's 1-1 our count. Oliver gets the sign, comes set, working quick yet again. That one skied on the left side. Will it stay in play? Zaborowski tracking it. Looks like it'll stay in play, and that ball just kept fading, and he was not able to make a catch. You see that a lot of times on those balls that are hit into the wind like that one was, where you see it at its apex and it's one spot, and then by the time it falls to your glove level, it's 5 feet to the left or right, and that's exactly what happened to Zaborowski there, unable to make a play for the RedHawks, but it'll still be a 1-2 count with 2 outs here in this top of the fourth. Ball inside. Oliver thought he had strike 3. Started prematurely walking off the mound. Has to set back up for a 2-2 pitch. That one fouled off by Danny Barbero. Whole bunch of 2s on the board. 2-1 our score. 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Barbero goes down swinging on a nice breaking ball down and inside, and Connor Oliver, just what the doctor ordered. No runs on no hits here in the top of the fourth, trying to get some momentum back in the dugout for the RedHawks. They're looking to go to the bat and take the lead back here in the bottom of the fourth, We'll be back with more RedHawk baseball action here on RedHawk Radio. Stay with us.
Leading off the bottom of the fourth for the RedHawks, number 10, the first baseman, Parker Lester.
And we're back here on RedHawk Radio. The Saints still rolling with Arlo Marinchak, and how can you not? Really settled in after that first inning, gave up 1 run in the bottom of the first, but has been nothing since, and it certainly seems like this is going to be their guy going through the season. The big righty listed at 6'8", 254, going up against Parker Lester here. RedHawks in need of some momentum and at least 1 run to tie this thing up here in the bottom of the fourth. Lester takes ball 1 outside, but Harlow Marinchak, he's really settled in, and after a rough couple first starts, ERA up there near 6, this is certainly, as it's going now, going to help that number as we see Parker Lester swing on an outside fastball, unable to connect with it, and it's going to even the count at 1-1. Marinchak comes set. Looked like an off-speed pitch there, cut on by Lester, unable to connect, so it's 1-2 the count. Lester has looked uncomfortable in the box, not like his usual self. Obviously, this is a guy with incredible confidence and a really good bat to swing as we see him drive one into left field. Great piece of two-strike hitting, and once again, we've talked about it time and time again, this team with 2 strikes just has one of the best approaches of anyone you'll see, and that's exactly what Lester did there. Just dumps it off into left field after, like we were saying, just doesn't look like he was all that comfortable until that pitch, but able to drive it over the third baseman's head, and he finds himself at first base to start this 4th inning. Now we see Cooper Weiss at the bat for the RedHawks. Ball misses high above the letters. Weiss easily looks at that one, and it's 1-0 our count. See Coach Hayden on the side giving the signs there to both Weiss and Lester. Weiss takes a hefty hack at that one. That one was right on the letters, but certainly a tantalizing pitch for a hitter to look at. 1-1 our count here with no outs in the bottom of the 4th and a runner on first. That'd be Parker Lester. Marinchak comes set. Kick, steals, squares around a bunt. Cooper Weiss gets a good one down the third base line. A hard bunt that was fielded by the third baseman, but a nice play made there by number 22, Danny Barbero, for the Saints. But Cooper Weiss does his job and does it to a T, able to drop down the bunt. Made the defense make a play, but advances the runner with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. Brian Zapp will come up with a runner in scoring position, look to tie this game up, if not take the lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Kick, steals, ball outside, but it'll be called a strike. That one just clipped the corner. Marinchak has really gotten the command working. After the first inning, he was a little bit spotty, had a wild pitch, and just kind of missed often. But he's really found that zone as we see Zapp swing right through a fastball near the top of the zone. But Marinchak really finding his groove out there. He gets the sign from the dugout, and he has really run with that groove that he's found himself in ever since. Zapp waits on the 0-2 offering. And strike 3 swinging right through it, almost picturesque of the last pitch. Higher fastball that just got cut on by Zapp and was unable to make contact. So that'll bring up 2 outs with a runner on second. Christian Tejada is going to have to make something happen if the RedHawks want to tie this one up. Christian Tejada batting just under 300 for this season at .294. Obviously one of the very experienced players on this team, graduate student out of Twinsburg, Ohio, listed at 5'9", 175. Was injured for much of the fall, so it's good to see him back in the lineup for the RedHawks. Fouls that one straight back after a ball on the first pitch. So 1-1 our count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. RedHawks had some momentum early, but have not been able to do anything with it since, after giving up the lead to the Saints in the top of the 3rd. Runner on second, Parker Lester. Tejada takes a breaking ball on the outside, called for a strike. That one clipped the corner, and it's 1-2 our count with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Or excuse me, bottom of the 4th, that is. Runner going, pitch inside, no throw. Lester kind of slid late into the bag there, hit his back leg. Luckily, no throw was made because he almost slid off the bag, but nonetheless, an easy free 90 for the RedHawks, and they've got a man 90 feet away now with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Tejada fouls it straight back to the screen. And this is a seemingly little moment in the game, but this could be monumental for this squad because going into the 5th inning with a tie game or possibly a lead versus being down 1 to a team that you really feel like you shouldn't be hanging with, that's 0-9, is a very, very different feeling going into the field. So if Tejada could come through here, that would be huge for this squad as we see him foul another one back. Once again, 2-strike approach for this RedHawks team has just been really, really good this year, and Tejada is no exception. Count stays at 2-2. Lester leading off third. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. RedHawks trail 2-1. Marichak the pitch low, but able to be stopped there by Willie Schwarrick, and that was an important play because that breaking ball gets away to the screen. It certainly looked like Lester had a huge secondary lead and was looking to maybe run towards home to see if he can't tie it up himself. Marichak fouled off once again. That one will go into the parking lot off the bat of Tejada, and he's still battling up there. 3-2 our count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. David Novak waits on deck. Tejada takes ball low. Great at bat. Christian Tejada sees a bunch of pitches there in that at bat and able to draw the walk. So that'll bring up David Novak with 2 outs here and runners on the corners for the RedHawks.
The catcher, David Novak.
David Novak looking to start his season with a bang here. This could be a monumental moment. Only hitting 118 thus far, has not had the plate appearances that some of the other guys had. Only 17 at-bats on the year, but certainly feels like this is a moment that could really jumpstart your season if you could get a hit here and keep this inning going while tying up the game. After a pickoff move to first, Novak looks at strike 1, about letter high on the outside corner. Oh, 0-1 the count. Tejada leaves off first. Novak takes a hefty cut at that one, about letter high, and it'll move the count to 0-2. So he'll go into protection mode, just trying to keep this at bat alive and maybe put something in play here with a runner 90 feet away. That'd be the tying run in Parker Lester. Bottom of the 4th here. Saints on top 2-1. Runner takes off for second. The throw just kind of falls in there. Tejada getting himself into a rundown. Now we see Lester start to run to third, run home. Interesting play there. Not sure if there was a miscommunication from Lester or what the deal was, but nonetheless, RedHawks will go down quietly in that bottom of the 4th after Tejada gets thrown out eventually in a rundown. So RedHawks will go to the top of the 5th, trailing 2-1. We'll be back here on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. Up to bat for the Siena Saints, Gavin Thornburn, the right fielder, number 20. Connor Oliver still on the mound, trailing 2-1 here in this game. Kick steals. That ball will be batted down the first base line. Foul ball, so Thornburn starts off 0-1 in the count. Connor Oliver challenges him with a fastball there, gets strike two early. This would really be a nice inning for Connor Oliver to settle in, get a quick one, and get back in the dugout for his guys to start hitting again. Just feels like the RedHawks need some momentum, and anything he can create would be awesome for this squad. And there's a hammer on the outside corner. Not much Thornburn can do there. That one looked to be about 5 feet wide off the hand of Oliver, came all the way back and just settled right in at the bottom of the zone. And if you're Thornburn, that's just one you got to tip the cap, because that was a phenomenal breaking ball from Connor Oliver. Now we see Randall Hine get in the box, and keeping with the mantra, we see Oliver go quick and challenges him with a fastball, which he cuts on and misses. And follows it up with another fastball on the outside corner. Hine, surprised that that one was called. Looked to be a little bit outside, but definitely could have been swung on. That 0-2 pitch was down and inside to Hine, who really crowds the box. Connor Oliver, strike three. And just what the doctor ordered if you're Connor Oliver and the RedHawks. You had a rough, kind of longer inning than you were looking for in the fourth. Took a few more pitches than maybe you were hoping for, and start off this inning with 2 strikeouts, flip over the lineup, and you get back to Sean Camacho, who you've had pretty good success against today. And we see Camacho take a swing at one that was well above the letters, falls to an 0-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Oliver working quick, fastball right down the middle, says, test me with the fastball, and he was not able to catch up to that one. Works quick yet again, 0-2. That one was at his head, but he still swung at it. Struck out the side. Connor Oliver walking off the mound like a beast. Just what the doctor ordered for the RedHawks. See if we can't get any momentum going for this RedHawks offense. Our score is 2-1. We'll be back with bottom of the 5th action here on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. Bottom of the 5th action, David Novak will be the hitter once again after that weird sequence. It looked almost like the catcher was just trying to throw the ball back to the pitcher when Tejada took off for a second, but Marinchak was not ready for the pitch, so the ball ended up rolling to the second baseman, which was right in front of Tejada, and they got him in a rundown and ended the inning that way. Novak on the first pitch swings at that one. It's fading well right, and we see a much less intense run there from the right fielder. Even gave a playful jump at the wall. We saw him tumble over that earlier. Glad to see that he's back in the game and still making plays, but Gavin Thornburn certainly has a nice sense of humor out on the field there after that similar play to the one we saw earlier. Novak on the second pitch of the at-bat gives this one a ride. Deep center. Center fielder still trying to track it down. Unable to make the play. That one hopped the wall. Novak puts a charge into a ball, and after a strikeout the side inning for Connor Oliver, that one felt like a much-needed base hit for the RedHawks, especially one that you kind of put a charge on for David Novak, and that'll bring up Dylan Baker at the 9 hole to turn over the lineup with no outs here on the top of the 5th. And it just seems like Miami has been pressing the Saints for the past couple innings, but have not been able to push anything across. So hopefully this is the inning where they can break it open if you're a RedHawks fan at home. Dylan Baker swings through the first pitch. That was a fastball about letter high. Certainly a great swing, and we've seen a lot of those this game getting their A swing off, just have not been able to quite make contact just yet. Marincek comes set. Baker, lazy fly ball, going to be fielded by the shortstop there. That's Hine, able to make the play. So an unproductive out for the RedHawks, only seeing 2 pitches and just kind of backspun that ball a lot into the glove of Randall Hine, but that'll turn over the lineup. Benji Brokman comes up, 1 out here in this 5th inning. David Novak at second after his leadoff double. Brokman swings at the first pitch. We saw him have that great 2-strike approach, dumped it off into right field, and then got caught stealing a couple pitches later, a few innings ago, but certainly feels like Brokman is seeing the ball a lot better. It's had a lot of foul balls in this game, so it's just a matter before he puts a charge into one and really gets after it. See him foul one straight back to the screen, though. It's 0-2 the count. Marincek working with some good pace thus far. He's given up hits here or there. RedHawks have 4 of them, but for the most part, he has settled in well after that first inning. Misses high with that one. Looked like he tried to put a little bit extra on the fastball, but Brokman was not offering. 1-2 the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Novak leading off second. Brokman fouls one off, slicing down the right side. That one will go into the parking lot. So been a lot of souvenirs from the RedHawks batters thus far. They've had some great 2-strike approaches, just fouling anything off that they can't hit into the field of play. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Taken low. Siena, the whole dugout, thought they had strike 3 there. Unable to get the call, but looked like a nice one from Marincek. Brokman settles into the box. 2-2 the count. Fouls one off down the right side. That one was scorched just past the right field bag. And there's going to be a second in play because the right fielder is going to have to track that one down after it bounced back into the field of play. So Thorburn throws it to the bullpen guys that come out and get it, and they'll relay it back to the dugout when they get a chance. Pickoff play put on there. Novak able to get in there quickly, but it's one of those daylight plays you see from shortstop where they just kind of flash to the bag behind the runner, and then you see the turning move from the pitcher. It was a great play drawn up, just unable to catch Novak sleeping. Brokman lines one right over the head of the shortstop. Hine unable to corral it. Rounding third is Novak. Throw goes into second. RedHawks have tied it. Brokman 2 for 3 on this one, and he's had some great at-bats. Put that one on a frozen rope right over the shortstop's head, and that was Randall Hine giving it his best effort, but unable to corral it. And just like that, RedHawks have life here in this 5th. So with Brokman on first, 1 out still in this 5th inning, and Zach McDonald up to the bat for the RedHawks. Marincek looking to settle in here and end the bleeding here in this 5th. Zemak takes a strike on the outside corner. Count is 0-1. Rylan Zaborowski waits in the on-deck circle. Certainly love to see Z-Mac get on here and turn it over to the big hitter on this lineup. And Z-Mac puts a charge into one. Deep left center field. Doesn't have enough. It's gone. We've been talking about it all day. Zach McDonald puts a charge into one and hits that one off the scoreboard. And just when Marinchak thought he might have been settled in for this game, the RedHawks come surging back with a 3-run third. And Zach McDonald takes the lead back for the home team.
The third baseman, Rylan Zaborowski.
So now that'll bring up Rylan Zaborowski, still 1 run in the 5th. Still 1 out in the 5th, excuse me. And like they say in baseball, hitting is just simply contagious. Zaborowski takes ball 1 low, and I'm sure if you ask Zach McDonald, and I saw a lot of them in the fall, that hit is nothing new. Put a lot of dents in that scoreboard in the fall and put another one in it right there. Zaborowski takes ball 1 low, or ball 2, excuse me, low and outside. Zaborowski certainly doesn't want to steal Zach McDonald's thunder, but you'd be crazy if you didn't think that he's trying to put a charge into a ball here. That strike called at the top of the zone. Got the letters of the 6'7" frame of Rylan Zaborowski to make it 2-1. Zaborowski, hefty hack on that second strike there, unable to connect. I think he might have tipped it, but a high pitch certainly looks tantalizing from that right side. And after you see one of your good buddies, Zach McDonald, put one into the outside of the park on the last at bat, you certainly are trying to swing at one of those. And he looks at strike 3 on the outside corner, not very happy with the call. Certainly looked to be a little bit outside, but you have to wonder whether that one caught the zone or not. So Zaborowski will go down looking, and with 2 outs, it'll turn over to Parker Lester, the first baseman. Lester, big swing on the first pitch. Unable to connect, however, the count will be 0-1. Lester looks at strike 2, bottom corner of the zone on the outside half. And just like that, it's 0-2. Marinchak has done a great job of responding to that home run from Zach McDonald, and he gets the strikeout there from Lester.
For the half inning, 3 runs on 3 hits, including Zach.
And that'll end the big eventful 5th for the RedHawks. It's going to be a 4-2 game after the 3-run 5th, capped off by Zach McDonald's big home run off the scoreboard in the left center gap. We'll be back with 6th inning action here on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. And we're back with 6th inning action here on Red Hawk Radio after a great 5th inning for the RedHawks. 3 runs plated, capped off by that Zach McDonald big fly in the left center field off the scoreboard. We see Connor Oliver back out to work after fanning the side in the 5th inning. Starts him off with a strike here up to bat. That's number 6. Donovan Montgomery for the Saints. Just a reminder, we'll have the second game of this doubleheader. It's set to start 45 minutes after the end of this game, and this game is moving right along, already in the 6th inning. So, granted, we could see a lot of long innings after this. You always got to knock on wood if you're looking for a quick game at home, but certainly would seem like it might be a little bit before 3 as of now, which was the scheduled time for that game. Connor Oliver gets the count to 2-2. Looking to put him away here. Ball popped up on the first base side. Doesn't look like it's going to stay in play, and it'll be in the stands for the RedHawks. So Oliver will go back to work with a 2-2 count here in the top of this 6th inning, and he is moving right along. There's a little bit of action in the RedHawks bullpen, but it's certainly, unless Oliver is on some type of strict pitch count, does not seem like he'll be coming out of the game anytime soon. But it's a 3-2 count now after missing inside to Montgomery, and Montgomery able to work a walk. So after a big inning from the RedHawks, it's exactly what you're looking for if you're the Siena Saints. Just get runners on and try to get some momentum going to see what you can't push across in this inning. Now at the bat, number 4, Hayden Stewart, the second baseman. Stewart takes strike 1. Stewart, another one of these lefties in the lineup. They've struggled pretty mightily with Connor Oliver from the left side today. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Well low and outside, so count will be even at 1. Man leading off first, that'd be Donovan Montgomery. Hayden Stewart in the box. Fouls one off, slicing down the left side. That'll be well out of the ballpark, and it'll be a 1-2 count here with no one out and one man on here in the top of the 6th. And that ball's driven into right field. Rounding second, headed for third. Ball momentarily booted by Tejada, unable to make a play at third. But just like that, Hayden Stewart gets a little bit of momentum in this squad after getting that hit right through the 3-4 gap on the right side. And that'll turn it over to Vincent DeNicola. DeNicola has not had much success in the designated hitter spot today, but can certainly change that here if he's able to push something across. That ball fading down the right side. Very lazy fly ball off the end of the bat. Just barely fell foul. And that one off the bat looked like it was going to drop right in fair territory where neither Parker Lester nor Christian Tejada could get it. But luckily for the RedHawks, falls in foul territory and nothing happens from that one. Ball misses high from Connor Oliver. It looked like a breaking ball, just kind of spun off the hands early. 1-1 our count. Nobody out. Runners on the corners here in the top of the 6th for the Saints and the RedHawks. Oliver misses high there, and after a great 5th inning, has kind of lost some control here, so you have to wonder, with action in the bullpen, if he gets out of this inning, if he will go back out there. Obviously a very long season, only the 9th game that they've played. You don't want to use up one of your best arms early in the season and possibly create injuries down the line. So this could be potentially Oliver's last inning after he drops in a strike for strike 2 in this at bat. The 2-2 pitch, cut on and miss. DeNicola unable to make anything happen there. And just like that, it's 1 out, and he's really 1 pitch away with runners at the corners here in the 6th inning. We now see Matt Livingston coming up to the plate, the big lefty playing first base for this Saints squad and looking to just push something across, get some momentum back in the Siena dugout. We see runner go for second. Pitch was dropped by Novak, so unable to even make a throw down to second. So runners at second and third now, 2 in scoring position for Livingston. A hit would be absolutely monumental for the Saints here. Breaking ball down the middle, strike 2, 0-2 our count with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Connor Oliver like a man on a mission this at bat. 0-2 pitch. Batted into the field of play, fielded by Baker, going to get the out at first. 1 run will score, so Livingston does his job, moving that runner over to third as well. So 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, but Siena cuts the lead in half. Now 4-3 our score here at McKie Field in Hayden Park. Now we see Coach Ope headed out for the RedHawks. We saw him meet with Oliver earlier in this game. This could be the end of his day, and it is going to be. So, very good start turned in from Connor Oliver. Goes 5 2/3. Had a hefty amount of strikeouts. We'll get back to you exactly how many strikeouts he has, but we'll take a quick break and be back with our new pitcher on the mound for the RedHawks after this here on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio after a great start turned in by Connor Oliver. 96 pitches, 10 Ks, 3 walks, and 3 earned runs. The runner on third is his, but now we welcome into the game Hudson Leach, the Creighton transfer on the mound, listed at 6'3", 220. And, man, he's got a fastball that can really run it up there with the best of them. He's appeared in 2 games this season, one against Georgia Tech, one against North Alabama. Combine both those games, he had 14 strikeouts on the year. Misses high with the first pitch. Facing off against Willie Schwarrick, the catcher for the Siena Saints squad. Second pitch fouled off by Schwarrick. The count even at 1. But Hudson Leach, a guy that had some injuries in the fall, but has really worked his way back, and man, does he have some great stuff in his arsenal, whether it be the hard fastball, as we see one batted down the line. Schwarrick able to just hook that one inside the first base bag. This game is tied, and Schwarrick is on second. And Siena, they have answered the call just about every time today, and that's exactly what they're doing here. This game is tied at 4 after Schwarrick able to just hook that one inside the line. Almost looked like it was going foul. Zaborowski really had no chance at a play either. Now we see Danny Barbero, so change that to 4 earned runs for Connor Oliver, but does not take away from the start that he had. Really kept the Siena hitters at bay and kept them off balance and timing all day. Barbero fouls off another one, so the count is 0-2. 2 outs here in this top of the 6th inning. Hudson Leach looking to get out of trouble. Fastball high misses. Not a bad two-strike pitch. Certainly tantalizing for the batter. Barbero able to hold up, though. Barbero swings at what looked to be a great curveball there, and Hudson Leach able to get off the field after giving up that one run, which will be credited to Connor Oliver. But just like that, we're back at tied, even at 4 apiece here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back with that action after this on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio, bottom of the 6th action. After taking the lead in the bottom of the 5th, it's given right back after two runs were plated by the Saints in that top half. But we're still seeing Arlo Marinchak out there for the Siena Saints. It's now Cooper Weiss starting off this inning for the Red Hawks. Would certainly be a tough blow to Siena if the Redhawks were able to retake the lead here and played a couple runs. Marinchak first pitch, right at the letters, cut on and missed by Cooper Weiss. Weiss looks at a ball outside. Looked like it might have been a slider or some type of cutter because it just kept fading away from the plate. The Redhawks have had pretty good pitch recognition from Marinchak today. We've seen a lot of swing and misses, but it doesn't look like they've been fooled all that often. So you see Weiss cuts through a fastball at the top of the zone there. Weiss hitting in the 5-hole. We see Brian Zapp waiting in the on-deck circle. Weiss cuts through another fastball, and that'll be strike 3. Unable to get much going there was Cooper Weiss, so it'll turn over to Brian Zapp, and he'll be tasked with trying to get this inning started and get some momentum back in the Miami dugout. Marinchak about to deliver his 100th pitch, so it's two pitchers, really a pitcher's duel, what it turned out to be after the early offense we saw from both these squads. But interesting to see. It is a warm day, so that could play a very big factor in it. But usually you're used to seeing starters will only go so long in these early games in the season. Obviously, the college baseball season is that of a very, very long campaign, playing upwards of 60 games. So you usually don't see starters get stretched out as much as they are today, but they're confident in their guys, and both Marinchak and Oliver right around the 100-pitch mark. Zapp tried to turn to take that pitch, but it did not get all the way to him, so it'll just be a ball inside, 1-1 our count. One out here in the bottom of the 6th, and that one hit off the bat right back to us. Almost, if there wasn't a screen or glass there, would have been in the press box off the bat of Brian Zapp. So 1-2 our count now. One out here in the bottom of the 6th. Christian Tejada waits in the on-deck circle. Ball outside. Looked like that one got away from Marinchak there. 2-2 the count, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Zapp swings on a breaking ball, and it was a good one there. That'll end his at-bat with another strikeout to start this inning, and Marinchak has had it working here in the top of the 6th, or the bottom of the 6th, excuse me. Christian Tejada now at the bat for the RedHawks. It'll be a breaking ball, falls in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. RedHawks just looking to get any type of momentum possible. Just have not had much work in right now. Tejada, screamer off the bat, but it'll be well foul. Hits off the RedHawk bullpen. And the count will move to 0-2. So Tejada just going into protection mode now, just trying to make something happen with this at bat. Avoid letting Marinchak fan the side here in the bottom of the 6th. Breaking ball down and out on that one, so we'll see at least one more pitch in this at bat. 1-2 our count. Tejada swings at a pitch that was well outside, and that'll be strike 3 to end the inning. So Marinchak answers the call after his team ties up the game. He fans the side in the 6th, and we're headed to the 7th. 4-4 our score. We'll be back here on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. Hudson Leach back out there in the top of the 7th for the Miami RedHawks. Going to face off against number 20, Gavin Thorburn, for the Siena Saints squad. Leach gave up the one hit that plated the 4th run, credited to Connor Oliver, so that'll mean no decision for Oliver, but Leach, if he's able to piece together a couple innings and the RedHawks can push some runs across, could be the recipient of a W if he's able to hold off the Saints. 1-1 our count here with Thorburn at the plate, and strike 2 called, so 1-2 will be the count. Leach working at a fairly quick pace, not quite as fast as Connor Oliver was, but certainly making quick work right now. That one fouled off into the parking lot by Thorburn. Count stays 1-2. Hudson Leach comes set, kicks, deals. Absolute hammer of a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and Thorburn really didn't have much of a chance there. That's 2 times to the plate that Thorburn has just been the recipient of 2 of the best pitches of the day by the various pitchers that he has faced, and was not able to do very much on that at bat. Leach will hit the top of the zone there. tough call against Randall Hine. Obviously not the tallest batter in the world, so that one certainly seemed pretty high to him, but was called a strike nonetheless, and Hudson Leach will miss with the second pitch, making it a 1-1 count with one out here in the top of the seventh. RedHawks tied in a 4-4 bout with the Siena Saints here at home to start off the home campaign for the RedHawks. Hudson Leach missed with the third pitch, so it's 2-1. But he hits with that one, so it's 2-2. The count here with one out. Leach comes set. And strike three called on the outside corner. Just looked like a simple fastball with pinpoint precision. And Hudson Leach making quick work of the Saints right now here in the top of the seventh. That one low and got away from David Novak, so it'll be a 1-0 count. Certainly lucky that pitch came with no runners on base. Obviously, that could have been an issue if there were some runners on. But Sean Camacho at the plate looks at ball two. I'm sure Camacho, although Leach is one talented pitcher, had to have been at least relieved to see Connor Oliver out of the game, getting to face a righty now after seeing lefty on lefty and not having much success earlier in the game. Certainly feels like a life raft in the box. 2-1 the count, misses outside. 3-1 with two outs here in the top of the seventh. Hudson Leach kicks, deals. Camacho puts a swing on it, fading towards the left field foul line, but Brian Zapp able to plant himself under it and make a catch. So Hudson Leach makes a pretty quick inning there in the top of the seventh with no runs, no hits, and no errors for the RedHawks. They'll go to the bat looking to take the lead in this one. We'll be back with bottom of the seventh action here after this on RedHawk Radio. And we're back here on RedHawk Radio. Bottom of the seventh action after the stretch. RedHawks looking to take any sort of lead they can. David Novak at the bat for the RedHawks. Still in the game, Arlo Marinchak well into the 100-pitch mark for the Saints right now. They are just letting him ride, though. There's someone lightly tossing in the bullpen, but it doesn't seem like he has any urgency for the Saints. Last time up, Novak had that screamer in the center field that really started that inning back in the back in the fifth, that the RedHawks claimed that 2-run lead, So look for him to maybe put another charge into a ball, but he's fallen down 0-2 the count with no outs here in the bottom of the seventh. Novak fouls one off, protects with 2 strikes. At 109 pitches is Arlo Marinchak, so you'd have to assume that the absolute most he's going to throw today is around 120, and even that is an extremely high number this early in the season. But he gets a swing and a miss on a fastball at the top of the zone from Novak, and that'll pick up right where he left off last inning with another strikeout of one of the Red Hawk batters.
The second baseman, Dylan Baker.
Now back up to the plate is number 21, Dylan Baker.
6 straight strikeouts.
6 straight Ks for Arlo Marinchak right now, so Dylan Baker looking to break that chain here with this at bat, but starts off on the wrong foot with a swing and a miss on what looked like a fastball down and out. Marinchak comes to the plate with a fastball. Dylan Baker fouls it off, and we've mentioned a couple times today, but Marinchak has really, really found that groove. Besides the one hiccup in the 5th inning where he gave up that home run to Zach McDonald, but other than that, it has been easy sailing as we see Dylan Baker puts a charge in the one down the line, but it'll fade about 20 feet foul. So unable to put one in play like the 6 batters that have preceded him. 0-2 the count, 1 out here in the 7th, and Dylan Baker, awkward looking swing at that breaking ball, make it 7 in a row for Marinchak. And hey, I've been saying that it's early in the season and you're not going to let him roll out there for a bunch of pitches, but if he's rolling like he is, I don't see how you take him out of this game, especially in a 4-4 tie, looking to get your first win of the season. Benji Brokmond squares around a bunt there, pops it into foul territory past the dugout. You don't hate that move right there if you're a Miami fan, just because Brokmond has some speed, but that's one of those ones, if you're going to pull that and try to get the bunt down, you have got to get the bunt down. It cannot be a situation where you even run the risk of popping one up. So Brokmond gets lucky and finds himself in an 0-1 count. Watches ball 1 whiz past him in the left-handed batter's box. 1-1 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Brokmond looked at strike 2 on the outside corner. And Marinchak really has not been doing anything crazy besides the strikeout pitch that we saw against Baker. It's been majority fastball, and he's just challenged these Miami hitters. And they have not been able to hit it for quite a while. Brokmond fouls one off. That one will fade just out of play. Looked like there might have been a play to be had at first, but then got well past the dugout by the time it landed. 1-2 still the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Brokmond just trying to get any type of energy for his squad. Just need a little momentum, it feels like, for Miami. Holds up. Thought it was strike 3, did Marinchak, but not called on the outside corner, so count will move to 2-2. Marinchak takes a while to come set. Ball well outside. Brokmond looked like he was slightly tempted by it, but able to hold up. It'll bring it to a 3-2 count here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Brokmond beats it into the ground, so no more strikeout. Just looking to beat it out, but he's unable to do so. So the strikeout streak ends, but the out streak continues, and the RedHawks have just not been able to get anything going in these past couple innings as they go quietly in the 7th. We'll be back with 8th inning action here on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. 8th inning just about underway. Hudson Leach still on the bump for the Red Hawks after a fairly efficient inning in the top of the 7th. Just looking to keep this game tied and try to give his offense an opportunity to win it in these last 2 innings. Number 6, Donovan Montgomery, coming up to the plate. 2-hole hitter for this squad. Squares around a bunt, but pulls it back as Leach throws a fastball right down the middle to start off the at-bat. 0-1 the count. That one looked just to be inside, so 1-1 will be the count here going against Donovan Montgomery. Hudson Leach working quick. Montgomery fouls it off. It's like a fastball near the outside corner. Montgomery takes ball 2, so it'll be a 2-2 count with no outs here in the top of the 8th. Hudson Leach just looking to keep this game tied. Kick steals. Montgomery skies one in the air down the right side. Fading, going to be in foul territory. Tejada unable to catch it, and he's lucky it did fade where it did, because that was about a foot maybe from being a fair ball, and that would have been a double if not a triple by the time that ball was picked up. So Redhawks catch a break there. Montgomery does not, as that one just barely fades foul. Montgomery looks at the 2-2 offering, and it's right on the outside corner, so Hudson Leach couldn't get the foul ground catch, but says it doesn't matter, I'll take care of it myself, and gets a 2-2 strikeout there, much needed to start off this 8th inning. And now we see Hayden Stewart up to the plate for this Saints team. Leach challenges him with a fastball at the upper half of the zone. There, gets the strike call, so it'll be 0-1. Swing and miss on the outside corner. Stewart now down 0-2. Tries to get a curveball to drop in there, but stays up and out, so Hudson Leach will deliver an 1-2 offering here in just a second. Fouled back by Stewart. That one will get out of the stadium, so Leach will keep the count at 1-2. Look to put him away with 1 out here in the top of the 8th. And a swing and a miss. Stewart goes down with the forwards K, and Leach still has it working on the mound for the Red Hawks. He's now had 4 strikeouts in a row for Miami, so it's a guy that is really giving them what they needed out of the bullpen, giving them some length and been nails on the mound, as we see a strike there by DiNicola. Another swing and a miss for DiNicola, and once again he finds himself in an 0-2 count. Has not had much success tonight against the Red Hawk pitchers. Hudson Leach challenges him with what looked like a breaking ball, but able to be spoiled and fouled off by DiNicola. So lives to see another pitch up there with an 0-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the 8th. And DiNicola goes down swinging. 5 in a row for Hudson Leach. Redhawks looking to feed off the energy that he's providing on the mound. 4-4 our score. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th here in a second. Stay with us here on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. Pitching change has been made after a great start turned in by Arlo Marinchak. They'll now turn it over to the lefty number 17, Billy Rozakis. Coming into this game, he's one of their only 3 pitchers who qualifies for a true ERA at 5.4. He's pitched 10 innings in this year, and opponents are hitting .263 against him. So Rozakis, a lefty, kind of switching up the look, but that's not really going to affect the next 2 hitters, with Zach McDonald at the bat right now, and then Rylan Zaborowski in the on-deck circle as we see Z-Mac take a ball on the outside corner to start the at-bat. So 1-0 our count. Here's the pitch. McDonald puts a charge into one high fly ball down the right field side, but it'll be well foul. So McDonald, like we mentioned, has been swinging a hot bat. Just had that 3-run home run back in the 5th. So had a pause in the play there. Looked like Rylan Zaborowski was getting a little bit too close to home. So umpire straightened him out, told him to scoot back, and he'll take his practice swings there. Now here's Zach McDonald with a 1-2 count. No outs here in the bottom of the 8th. RedHawks looking to get a lead so they can turn it over to either Leach again or a closer to close this one out. RedHawks don't look to have any real action in the bullpen. Couple guys stretching out, warming up, but no one truly getting ready to come in as we see Zach McDonald cut and miss on a fastball on the outside. So that'll be a strikeout to start the 8th.
The third baseman, Rylan Zaborowski.
Now here's Rylan Zaborowski looking to make something happen for the RedHawks, in desperate need of some momentum at the plate. They've been ice cold ever since that 3-run 5th. That seems like it happened a while ago at this point in the game. Zaborowski quickly to 0-2 after fouling that second pitch off. So with 0-2 the count, Zaborowski just looking to fight something off and put something in play here in the bottom of the 8th. Zaborowski hammers that one into the ground. It's grabbed by Parker Lester on the on-deck circle. 0-2 still to count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. That one missed outside. Looked like a changeup that was kind of fading into the right-handed batter's box. So 1-2 will be the count with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. little bit too much chit-chat coming from the Siena dugout. Lead to a not an official warning, but somewhat of a verbal warning from the umpire as we see Rylan Zaborowski skies one into right, caught by the right fielder, and that'll put 2 outs on the board here in this 8th inning.
The first baseman, Parker Lester.
Now it'll turn over to Parker Lester. It's certainly been a frustrating day for Zaborowski. He's had some good contact, but just has really not been able to put swings on the ball like he's liked. He's had a couple strikeouts, so luckily for him, it's one of those days in baseball. You get a doubleheader, and you'll be right back in the batter's box next game. So hoping that you can squeak out a win here. That'd be really nice to get back out there and see what you can't do as we see Parker Lester line one up the middle right past the head of the pitcher, Billy Rozakis, and RedHawks have something cooking. First hit they've had in quite a while.
The shortstop, Cooper Weiss.
Now we see Cooper Weiss come to the bat, and hey, you never know. 2 outs, you can never write off an inning. So with Parker Lester's hit, Weiss will look to keep the train moving and see if they can't push one across before they get to the top of the 9th inning. That one will miss high from Rozakis. There is someone warming up in the Siena bullpen, so it is a righty. Do not have a number, but there is some action, so they're definitely keeping their options open, it seems like, if Rozakis is not able to get the job done here. Weiss takes a ball low, 2-0 the count. That one off the glove of the catcher, and Parker Lester will take a free second base. So a costly mistake there. It was just a high fastball. I think it was a cross-up because that was far too late of a move from Willis Schwarrick to be on the same page as his pitcher. It looked like he was expecting a breaking ball of some sort, and that fastball got on him. And since he was unable to catch it, you see Lester move down to third, but it'll be a 4-pitch walk for Rozakis against Cooper Weiss, and we'll now see Tejada come to the plate for the RedHawks. But before we get to Tejada, it'll be a pitching. It'll be a moving. It'll be conversation on the mound between the pitching coach and Rozakis, and it looks like Steven Krause is now on the on-deck circle for the RedHawks, so you have to wonder whether there's going to be a pinch hitter of some sort or if he's coming into the game for someone. Rozakis is staying in the game, but Coach Hayden is now talking to the home plate umpire, writing down some type of substitution, so it looks like Steven Krause will be coming to the plate here. So he will come in for Brian Zapp. Makes sense. Zapp being a left-handed hitter. Going against Rozakis. Makes sense that Krause would be the guy you want at the bat. Krause puts a swing on a ball and hit it off his shoulder after it hit the ground, so that'll be a foul ball because he was still in the box. Steven Krause hitting .308 on the year with an OPS of 1.092. That one well inside, so it's a ball and a strike with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Steven Krause looking to put a nice swing on a ball and possibly regain the lead with Parker Lester in scoring position. Fouls that one off the ground. Krause, the 6'3", 230 redshirt senior out of Wilmington, Ohio. And if you know Krause, he's 6'3", almost seems like they're taking a couple inches off because he is a big, big guy when you're standing next to him. Fouled back to the screen on the 1-2 offering, so Kraus looking to stay alive here, put a ball in play, and make the defense make a play. Ball in the dirt. Lost his glove there. It's the first time I think I've seen that just about ever from Willie Schwarrick. Blocked the ball and the glove came off in the process, so it's a 2-2 count. Able to keep the runners from advancing 90 more feet, so it's a great play by Schwarrick for the Saints. Here's the pitch, fouled back by Kraus off the screen. Zakis just trying to get out of this jam. 2-2 count, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th, or excuse me, the bottom of the 8th. And Kraus goes down swinging. Rozakis gets the swing and miss he was looking for, and that'll end the 8th, so it'll be a tie game. Headed into the 9th inning. Hudson Leach trotting back out. We'll be back with 9th inning action here on Red Hawk Radio. Stay with us. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. Steven Kraus stays in the game for Brian Zapp in left field, and Hudson Leach is back on the mound for the Red Hawks. So situation stays the same for Hudson Leach, just trying to keep this game tied, turn it over to the bottom of the 9th, and provide a potential walk-off opportunity, for his offense. And that ball smoked into the gap off the bat of Matt Livingston. Just going to drop in for a single, however, but after we saw Hudson Leach rolling like he was the first couple batters that he faced, you'd like to see that keep going, but Livingston able to get on there. He'll have a pinch runner too. That'll be number 14 for the Saints. That'd be Vincenzo Castronovo.
Now pinch running for Siena, number 14, Vincenzo Castronova.
So with no one out here in the top of the 9th, pinch runner into the game for the Saints, and the bunt gets down, going to be fielded by Leach, thrown to first, not able to make a play at second. Good bunt there from the catcher, Willie Schwarrick. So runner in scoring position. That'd be the leading run here in the top of the 9th. Leach just looking to strand him out there. Danny Barbero up at the plate. Breaking ball in for strike one. Like we mentioned, Vincenzo Castronovo out there at second for the Saints, and as the pinch runner. See a foul back by Barbero, just goes straight back to the screen, and the count is now 0-2. Barbero puts a swing on one, weak fly ball into left field, going to fall in front of Kraus. They're going to hold him at third, but Barbero running to second. Ball batted down by Dylan Baker. So just one of those weak fly balls that just falls right where the defense isn't for Barbero. And with 2 strikes, Hudson Leach probably wishes he had that pitch back. Not too pleased with the fact that that was a hittable pitch that ended up dropping for a hit. So with runners on second and third, we'll have an offensive conference between the third base coach and the 2 runners and the hitters. If you're a baseball fan at home, you'd have squeeze written all over your mind, and you'd assume that Miami is planning for that as well, especially with the inconsistency. Now, they've had some success as of late against Leach, but with how inconsistent they have been throughout the game, it seems like that would be how they're trending. Infield is in for the RedHawks. No squeeze on the first pitch. Thorburn looks at strike 1 on the breaking ball on the inner half for that first pitch of the at-bat. Thorburn squares around, unable to get it down though. Another great breaking ball, started up at the top of the zone, fell in and got Thorburn to take the bat back, but it fell in for a strike. So with an 0-2 count, squeeze seems unlikely. And I don't know how that one didn't hit Thorburn, but somehow the way he turned, the ball got around him. It looked like it went behind him momentarily. It might have been another breaking ball that curved back to the inside part of the plate. Thorburn fouls one off. Count still 1-2. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Runners on second and third. Hudson Leach back against the wall, looking to make something happen. Get his team back in the dugout. Thorburn, liner, gets through into center field. McDonald throws it. Cut off by Lester. 2-run score. Siena on top. Thorburn answers the call. What would have probably been fielded in a normal alignment goes right through the infield with the infield in, and it's one of those unfortunate plays, but you really have no choice. You have to go infield in, but every once in a while you get burned on plays like that. So the lead is now 6-4 for the Saints. Waited all the way until the 9th inning to score it, but it doesn't matter now as long as you've got the lead. They'll say it was a ball on the pitch. 1-0 the count. Foul ball on that one. Randall Heen in the box for the Saints. Leach deals. Strike down the middle. 1-2 the count with 1 out here in the 9th. And a pickoff attempt goes awry as the ball is rolling down the right field line. Tejada fields it, and the runner's going to get all the way to third. Things going from bad to worse for the RedHawks here. Hudson Leach just trying to make a play, maybe make a pickoff, change up the timing, but ball got all the way to the fence after Parker Lester was unable to corral it. And just like that, a runner that was just at first, now at third, 90 feet away, could be another insurance run for Siena. That one finishes above Heen's head. 2-2 the count. 1 out in the inning. No real action in the Miami bullpen, so it seems like this is Leach's game no matter what, as he misses again on the outside. 3-2 the count. Leach comes set. And that one catches the outside corner. Much needed strikeout for Hudson Leach. After a couple bad sequences from him after giving up the hit and then the error on the pickoff move moves the runner to third. Now 2 outs in the inning, and he's 1 pitch away, it seems like, from getting his team back in the dugout. There's a strike on the outside corner. Camacho at the top of the lineup has had a rough day today. Has really offered for that outside pitch quite a few times. That one too low to be offered at. It'll be 1-1. Hudson Leach misses with the second pitch. 2-1 the count. Three and one. Count on the batter after Hudson Leach missed low and away with that last pitch. Camacho squares the bunt and bunts it directly into foul territory. That was a late square on that pitch. So maybe just trying to mix up the look for Hudson Leach, but ends up fouling one off. And now it's a 3-2 count with 2 outs in the ninth. Backspun, ranging to make a play was Dylan Baker. Looked like an easy play from here, but I think he made it look a lot easier than it actually was. But nonetheless, RedHawks down 2, headed to the ninth inning, going to need some magic in the bottom of the ninth to tie this one up or win it. We'll be back with ninth inning action here on Red Hawk Radio after this. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio. After that pinch runner came into the game, he will not stay in the game. It's now Richie Poltridge at first for the Saints. Now pitching is Noah Rodriguez for Siena. Rodriguez coming into this game with an 8.3 run ERA. He does not meet the minimum requirements or to be actually counted, but in his appearances, that is the ERA that he has earned thus far. Here's Christian Tejada at the bat. RedHawks down 2, needing a little magic in this one to keep this game going or to possibly win it in the ninth. Ball one down and in to start off the at-bat to Tejada. That one also inside. Noah Rodriguez coming into this one. Certainly seems like a closer situation. You have to wonder if that's the role he'll be supplanted in the whole year or if he's going to be moving around. Obviously, it's hard to tell in college baseball. You get so many moving parts, and it's not always a set-in-stone thing, but we see Tejada fouls that one. It almost looked like it was going to be a foul ball off the end cap of the bat, but it went right to the first baseman, and that'll be an out and a very easy play for Poltridge as soon as he comes into the game. So now it'll be David Novak at the bat for the RedHawks. One out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. RedHawks trailing 6-4. Siena on the verge of getting their first win of the 2023 campaign. Strike just catches the inside corner against Novak. Ball high. Just missed the strike zone against Novak, so his count will move to 1-1 here with one out in the ninth inning. Really, any type of momentum would be stellar for this squad. They just have not had all that much going. They had a couple hits in the eighth inning, but were not able to scratch anything across, and they really haven't had real physical momentum since the fifth inning back when they had that 3-run inning and took a 2-run lead. Novak hits one softly to the third baseman. Low throw, but Poltridge is able to scoop it. And just like that, there's 2 outs, and Siena is 1 out away from the first win. Into bat will be Tommy Harrison, the pinch hitter. So he will come in, just the freshman, coming in for Dylan Baker. Assume they're playing matchups here, righty versus lefty. Tommy has been in some big spots this year. Got the start opening day against Georgia Tech at the catcher position. They like what he's got out of Lakewood St. Ed's.
Pinch hitting for the RedHawks, number 25, Tommy Harrison.
Certainly could be a guy to watch out for, not only this year, but in coming years as well. Feels like he's kind of the favorite to take over the catching job once Novak is gone. That ball misses outside. Tommy Harrison with a 1-0 count. Ball bounces at about 48 feet. That one caught the green turf, not the brown. So not exactly sure what happened. Maybe a little bit extra grip on that ball made him spike that. So lucky for him, able to corral it, and there weren't any runners on base. It'll be a 2-0 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Tommy Harrison at the bat watches ball 3 fly by in the right-handed batter's box. And you'd have to assume with 2 outs here in the ninth, he's got a very bright red light on this swing, no matter where the pitch is. Just catches the outside corner, so it'll be 3-1, and now you go into swing mode if you're Tommy Harrison, just trying to keep this game alive, keep the line moving. And that'll be ball 4, so Tommy Harrison does his job. Gets on base, finds a way on after a 5-pitch walk, and now Benji Brokmond will come to the plate. Now we're going to see a pinch runner for the RedHawks. That'd be number 4, Blake Buzzio. Makes sense because Blake will probably stay in the game at second base should this game go to extra innings, just because Tommy Harrison, as talented as he is, does not exactly have second base in the arsenal. So Blake Buzzio brings a little bit extra speed, and he will stay in. And that'll bring up Benji Brokmond. Just trying to keep this game going, keep the line moving. Ball on the inside corner. So it'll be 1-0 to start this at bat for Brokmond. Brokmond skies one. This could be the final play. Planted under it, and he catches it. Siena picks up the win, 6-4, their first win of the 2023 campaign. And that'll do it for this game. Siena wins on six runs, 7 hits, 0 errors to the Miami RedHawks 4 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. So Siena picks up the win in the first game of this doubleheader. We'll have 45 minutes till the second game. We will have a different stream for that game, so be on the lookout for that. For all that were tuned into this game, thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys in about 45 minutes for the next game. Thank you for tuning in on Red Hawk Radio.